So, guys, Sowore has come out to talk about Nnamdi Kanu in detention, saying that Nnamdi Kanu is being celebrated. That since Nnamdi Kanu was sentenced to jail, he has now become a celebrity, being discussed all over the world and even in Nigeria with some level of respect. And that even in the prison, that Nnamdi Kanu commands a whole lot of respect in the prison. We know that recently Governor Alex Otti even went to visit him, and other people that have been going there to like show solidarity to him, because we know that, this sentencing wasn't the right thing for them to have done. We have terrorists going out there and terrorizing the environment. None of them is being detained, and then someone who is asking for secession is now being the one being held. So I'm just going to allow you listen for yourself what Sowore said about Nnamdi Kanu. He has also called out people like Ribadu, Metawale, called out the Tinubu's government over the insecurity that is plaguing Nigeria, and how they are romancing it. Nobody has the audacity to come out to dare these terrorists. So guys, I don't even know what Tinubu is afraid of. For me, I'm asking Tinubu, can't you just stay this first term and end all these things? Why? Because Tinubu is being stopped by his second term ambition. His second term ambition is what is preventing him from taking drastic measures, because only a voice that he utters, the military will sit up. All the paramilitary and the military departments, everybody will sit up. And terrorism, how many are these boys in the bushes that this government cannot stop? But because Tinubu is as if we don't even have a president, he doesn't talk to Nigerians, he doesn't shake body, nobody knows what is happening. The boys are in the bush and raining havoc on Nigerians. Every day there must be a kidnap incident somewhere, if not along the road, it's in the churches or people on the farm. A whole lot. Nigeria is burning. Anyway, let me allow you to take a look at what Sowore said in this video, and let me also know your thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe and turn on the bell notification. Now take a look.
Jail Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is already a celebrity in prison. They said he has already become the president of the prison, but I doubt that is what Nnamdi Kanu wanted. But it must have been conferred on him just by respect, So very soon, you will see that they will, on their own, reverse the most fundamental mistake they ever made regarding Nnamdi Kanu. You can quote me on that.
So Nnamdi Kanu is in Sokoto prison.
What did we predict to you? That they will do that? Well, I also predicted that it will be the greatest mistake of their life. And now, the people we asked to protest to prevent Nnamdi Kanu from going to jail are all rushing to Sokoto. I want his family members to give me the right to admit people to see him, so that I can be screening them. And I'll tell you the day the judge who sentenced him is going to go to Sokoto. He's going to go beg, like Fela was begged in Bama prison for doing what is wrong, if he has not done that already. But if he wants to go, tell him to contact me. I will arrange a safe passage to Sokoto. This was the worst thing they could have done to them. When they were taking him to Sokoto, they thought they would ridicule him. When they got to Sokoto, he has turned Sokoto to another Mecca.
Yes, pilgrimage.
That's what we predicted. They don't have sense because they don't have people who can reason in government. And now, look at where we are. You jailed Nnamdi Kanu. Nnamdi Kanu is already a celebrity in prison. They said he has already become the president of the prison, but I doubt that is what Nnamdi Kanu wanted. But it must have been conferred on him just by respect, So very soon, you will see that they will, on their own, reverse the most fundamental mistake they ever made regarding Nnamdi Kanu. You can quote me on that.
So what do you have to say? The judge has ruled that you should be restrained from talking about some issues that incite the public against the government of the day.
Don't misquote the judge. The judge said that he was talking about national security. I'm not a national security.
Yes.
I'm not a police officer.
Yes.
You also heard me tell the judge that we have a plan to defeat the candidate on the other side, and I will continue to make public policy statements. It's all right. I think we have to give it to the judge that he applied wisdom.
So, Anihu Ribadu has been seen of late talking about the safety of the abducted. He was even reassuring the families of the victims that their children are well and safe while in captivity. Doesn't that speak of?
Well, what Nnamdi Kanu has come to tell you is that he's the new chief negotiator with the terrorists. So, and that's probably what Tinubu appointed him to be doing now. what they are doing is empowering the terrorists. And it is because they have no capacity to disempower them. So they engage. If nobody can tell you that they are in good hands, they said, and they are safe where they are, then come and redefine to me the meaning of safety. If a child who is barely 15 to 16 years is not in school and not with their parents, they are not safe. There's nobody who is safe in the hands of deranged kidnappers, terrorists, or bandits. No. So that's why I said maybe you should redefine to me the meaning of safety. But they are telling you, without me saying words, that's the world you are living in. Maybe some of you are still in denial.
Do you now support the US coming to rescue Nigeria?
No, the US is not coming to rescue Nigeria. The US is ridiculing Nigerian leaders.
So what should we do?
Well, kick out the leaders who cannot protect you.
Exactly.
That's simple. You deserve protection, not from the you didn't elect Donald Trump to protect you. Elected or they selected Nnamdi. And the reason I'm saying this so that those of you who are carried away by US promises is that if the US comes there to help you clear Sambisa forest, who is going to clear the forest in Edo State for you? Except you then agree that the US must replace your government. So your next governor in Edo State will be called Moore from Idaho. The one from Ondo State will be from New York. The one from Zamfara, they may not find a governor to go to Zamfara because US people don't like to go to unsafe places. So, and I have restated it again, that as an African, a Pan-Africanist, it is a disgrace that we keep looking for salvation from the people who enslaved us, the people who colonized us. Somebody who took you as a slave 400,000 years ago cannot love you when it is him and his past policies and of their grandparents that put you in the condition there. Have you forgotten the Cold War? Have you forgotten colonialism? Have you forgotten their attempts to replace that? They've even trained so many of the soldiers you are seeing today, DSS, they were trained in the US or by the US security agencies. How come the training didn't have any impact on them? So if you want salvation, build your own country. Elect leaders who can protect you, but always looking for help from people. It's like you are looking for, you are looking for help from a foreign religion, foreign gods. Now you are looking for help from the foreign army to come and help you cleanse your land. They don't have your time. They have. You see, I want to tell you here, the US have what they call attention deficit disorder in terms of international intervention and policies. They don't have time for you they don't have time to stay with you. After a while, if it inconveniences them, they leave. But they don't even have any plan to come here except just do some symbolic actions. And then at the end, you are still going to need to have your leaders protect you after they have come and gone. That is if they come at all.
Do you now support state police?
What?
State police.
Oh, I've always supported state police.
Even if
but not without proper guidance and regulation. I support state police on the condition that all the policemen will be trained according to the same standards across the country, and that they are well paid, not like in Ondo State where they have an equivalent of state police right now. They don't even have, they have casualization, they don't have appointment letter, they don't have insurance cover. You want people to come and risk their lives for you, and they don't have anything to show that they are working with you. So it has to be properly regulated. You must pay them well, you must provide them with insurance, they must have housing, not barracks, because barracks don't work anymore for me. And they must be properly trained, and they must have rules and regulations. Because we've seen a situation where in Osun State, and I think Ondo State, the leader of the Amotekun in Ondo State is trying to kill some of his staff who are opposed to the way he's running the place. In Osun State, there was some shooting in which they just arbitrarily kill people. So that's why regulations for these are very important for him. But state police, campus police, any police, I'm in support of it, but not rogue law enforcement agencies.
A video just resurfaced of Matawale advocating that not all bandits are criminals.
And not all criminals are bandits. I don't want to waste my time responding to the likes of. It's a reflection of where we are. That again, the worst amongst us is governing the most brilliant
Yes.
amongst us. So these are washed-up people that have no business. These are people that should be in jail. I met one governor, former governor here this morning. What is his name? Bangida Ali.
Okay.
Justice.
He was alone in a BMW. So he saw me, came to greet me. I said, what are you doing here? I said, I've been facing corruption charges for 10 years. I said, why don't you join the APC and stop disturbing yourself? He said you can't join them. I said, well, it's a matter of time.
Yes.
Yeah.
Where a radio transmitter, they claim they concealed and brought to Nigeria and the microphone. That's all.
Why do you think his release is important to Nigeria?
Because, Nigeria entered voluntarily into a disease in 1963. And to exit from it and heal itself, you must address the outcome of the Civil War. All of this thing you're saying is the outcome of the 1970 Civil War. And part of the reason why you say I'm active on this matter is not political. I didn't fight that in that war when I was active, and I don't want to participate in fighting when it is cold. They're still waging a cold war against the Igbo man in Nigeria. I know it. I don't need to go to school to know that. I don't need to have a PhD in philosophy to know that Nigeria has an Igbo problem. But it would be hypocritical on my side to fight and speak on behalf of Palestinians when Israel is shelling them, and forget to fight on behalf of our local Palestinians in the southeast where Nigerian government is shelling them. That would be hypocrisy on my part.
How do you respond to claims that your activism is funded by some quarters to create a false sense of opposition?
I'm very happy that people can have opinions about me that they can put out there. That makes them feel good. But if you want to do an activism that is creating a false sense of opposition, go and put your younger brother out there and shoot him, and you finish burying him and continue your activism. Be expelled from the university twice. Let your nose be broken. Let your mother have stroke because they detain you for a long period of time. Let your passport be seized and you can't see your children for 5 years and you have to be with your wife for. Be shot at, let them go after you everywhere you go. So, and then we can all come to a place where we say, oh, we have created another activist who created a false sense of opposition. I'm not trying to be an opposition. See, what people should differentiate between activism, as you call it, and opposition is cyclical in Nigeria. People only oppose the government when they are out of government, when they don't have something to eat. They will oppose the government. I don't belong in that category. And then what happens to activists all over the world is that a narrative is framed to scandalize you, right? And some people will believe it. So when you get to a point as an activist at my level, you don't even respond to that, because then you get distracted responding to what they call hubris. At the end, the person who says, "Oh, you want to create real opposition so that the ones that are false can pack and go home." So, but I understand that a person respects rights for people to have freedom of opinion, and I cannot tell you that anybody who says that has no right to say what he wants to say. Everybody should have a right to say that. That's the kind of country I'm fighting for, where you have a right to say what you want to say, and you are still free after you have said that.
Let's talk about revolution now.
Yes.
What exactly are you calling Nigerians to revolt against?
If there's anybody who's asking that question about this time, I have nothing to tell them. If Nigeria should be revolting against everything, I hate to say that, but I can't fail to tell you that every country that I've been to outside of Nigeria, and I've been to 31 countries beside Nigeria, and the question I ask myself, is what is wrong with us? And the question, the citizens of most countries that I've been to, the moment you introduce yourself to them, that you are a Nigerian, they ask you two questions. One of it is that, where's that footballer? They always have a favorite footballer. JJ Okocha is the most popular that I come across. And the second thing is, why are you guys not revolting against your leaders? You have such a great country, but you have foolish leaders, you have crazy leaders. You know, I'm telling you what outsiders tell me. They tell me in South Africa, you go to Ghana, they'll tell you. In fact, some of the reason why Nigerians are hated abroad, apart from those who are accused of being too nice to their women and their women fall in love with them, because they say Nigerian men are very good in taking care of women. So there's that animosity I'm talking about. But the second reason most Africans hate Nigerians is that they love Nigeria to the point that they can't understand why Nigeria is not a great place. Yes. Because they love your football, they love your culture, they live off of your music, their life is dependent on your movies, their spirituality is controlled by your clerics. Right? And then they will have to wake up and hear that you don't have water, running water. You don't have electricity. They can't travel to your country to go and see. I don't know how many Africans, I'm not saying Europe, I don't know how many Africans are saying, I wish I can go to Nigeria. I hear so much about Nigeria. How is it? But they'll tell you, but they said, you can't go there. They'll kidnap you. You know. So, Nigeria, if you have a child born abroad, you can ask anybody in diaspora. The only way to get your child to behave properly is to say, I'm taking you to Nigeria. I said, at the place, what do you want me to do? I don't want to go to Nigeria. I'll do it. Which other country do you use to threaten your children like that? Your children offend you, like, I'm taking you to Nigeria. I said, no, please, daddy. Please, 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 please. I don't want to go to Nigeria. And they have never been before. It's just based on what they've heard from their classmates. You know? But good news is that there's something that is not related to government that keeps them going. You know, my son plays soccer, and he's focused on Osimhen. He's like, Daddy, you know, like, did you see what Osimhen played? I don't even watch soccer that much. But you can't talk to my son about politics. He doesn't want to hear it because that's the traumatic part of Nigeria that affects him directly. His father is constantly hounded for going, you know, being a citizen of Nigeria. He's aware, but he has found a way to please himself with something Nigerian, which is soccer. Some have adopted Nigerian skit makers, they've adopted movie makers, musicians. People talk about all these young, great musicians. They have fans all over the world. They're doing well. You know, Nigeria has almost replaced the entire musical genre around the world. Afrobeat, or whatever Afro they call it, is popular everywhere, even in the Nordic region. You know, you go to Norway, you go to Nigeria, Sweden, the concert is filled up. You know, it doesn't matter if it's Burna Boy or Flavor or Davido or Wizkid. But who wants to come to Nigeria to do a concert? Probably not many.
The president has just sent 32 names, in addition to 3 other names he sent as ambassadorial nominees to the Senate for immediate confirmation. And there have been divergent opinions regarding composition of that list. What's your own reaction on the list?
You see, I have a problem with Nigerians. Sometimes we major too much on what should not bother us. Why is anybody upset that Tinubu appointed useless people as ambassador? You get my point. Because they're all in the same WhatsApp group. What are you upset with that Tinubu appointed Reno Omokri or Panika? Who do you want him to appoint?
Yakub Mahmoud.
Yakub Mahmoud. He's appointing people of his genre. He appointed a guy who helped him rig election. What do you expect? He appointed a guy who helps him with propaganda, telling lies. He appointed a guy who helps him do other things. That is where they pick from their group. So I don't understand the outrage. If it was the Pope that did that, then you can be worried that why did the Pope, appoint a prostitute to head a Catholic mission, right? We can debate that, but we're talking about Tinubu now. So why is everybody upset that Tinubu appointed his people? And who do you expect him to appoint? It has to be people of his own genre, his people of the same characteristics. Yes. The reason why I haven't said anything about it is because sometimes I even have to call myself to order when I get overly excited about people appointed. Why did you appoint this person? The question is, why don't you focus on the person who appointed these characters?
All right, the party has just nominated you or elected you as the national chairman of the AAC. Are you likely to allow another person to flag the presidential flag in 2027?
See, a political party has members. The members decide who is going to run in the party. That is why it is the political party that run in elections. Are you getting my point? Not the particular individual. So the political party appoints or elects or nominates a flag bearer to run in national elections. The political party is the one who makes the decision that you are talking about, not me.
But will it be fair for a political party to have the national chairman transmute to the national flag, the presidential flag bearer of the party?
So that's exactly why and where I know you are going, is to make it sound like, the chairman of the party has a constitution that determines who can run even in his own internal election. I am glad that you said the party had an election. And the reason why anybody is concerned about AAC is because AAC is a great party, and I'm happy to hear. If I ask you, who is the chairman of SDP, I'm sure you don't know.
I know two people.
Exactly. If I ask you who's the chairman of AA, you probably don't know. You probably know the chairman of APC, and I guarantee you don't know the chairman of PDP, because there's none.
There are two people claiming.
Exactly. So if a party in this time in Nigeria's life can organize itself so well that it can have a rancor-free election, no matter how small the party. There are only 18 political parties in Nigeria. Do you know that? There used to be 80 political parties. AAC was one of them. When it became 18, AAC is still one of them. And AAC doesn't have the kind of problem the party that is claimed are major parties have.
Does that have anything to do with the size?
No, because there are parties that have smaller size that have bigger problems. For instance, the Labour Party is not as big as people think, because in 2019, I had more votes than the presidential candidate of the Labour Party. But so as to rest your concerns is that if you want to run as a candidate in AAC, as a presidential candidate, you better join now so that you can run. Nobody will stop you. But if you are not a member and you think you can bring money to come and buy the presidential slot of the party, too late, because the party is not for sale. But I can tell you that majority of the political parties exist to sell forms. We exist to sell ideas to Nigerian people.
Why is AAC, you often refer to AAC as a revolutionary party? Why do you refer to that party as such?
Because it's a party that has an ideology that's socialist in nature and has a very radical transformative agenda that you and I refer to as revolutionary, in the sense that we have made a decision that we will change this country through the ballot, hopefully. And if they compromise the ballot, we'll change it by any other means necessary. It's not a threat. I've been tried for treason before, and I've defended the same position. I was arrested and tried for treason for saying that I want a revolution in Nigeria. The day I was arrested, 5 million people searched the meaning of revolution. And by now, everybody's talking about the revolution, including the people that arrested me, minus the one who was the head of state then, who's late. Even the likes of Malami, they are all talking about revolution. They want revolution, Erufai, they want revolution. Babasho, even Rotimi Amici, they are saying they want revolution.
How do you feel when you see them now talk about revolution? How do you feel?
I know they don't mean it, so I don't hold it against them. But I feel good that I have something that I pioneered that has been widely accepted, yes. And that was why it's different. It's a party that has stood on the same path and maintained the same traction over all these years when other parties have gone left and right, and some have devolved, evolved, and dissolved. So, but the reason why anybody will worry about it is because it's a futuristic party as far back as 2018. And now the world is like, oh, these guys, we've ignored them for so long. That's why you're hearing all these things. Oh, maybe, they don't have a presidential slot, it won't be competitive. Because they want to come and buy. They're looking for where to buy parties. And they have seen that AAC will not be available for purchase. They know that. So what do? They create narratives as such. Since I came here, you've confronted me with different kind of narratives about me. A week ago, the narrative about me was that I was the one who helped Boko Haram to kill the Brigadier General. They wrote a whole narrative about it. That had Sahara reporters not reported that the guy was missing, they would have located him. That was narrative for last week. The week before, it was the fact that I wanted to stop the judiciary from concluding Nnamdi Kanu's trial. The week before is that the IG accused me of wanting to cause a mutiny within the police force because I was fighting for police welfare. So every week there's a narrative against me, and I'm happy about it because it means that we're doing something right by our people.
Do you see Tinubu winning 2027? And how do you plan, if you think otherwise, how do you plan to stop him? And are you likely to work with other like minds in other political parties?
You see, Tinubu is not going to win any election in this country because Tinubu is not built to win elections. Tinubu is built to rig elections. And if we leave Tinubu to his own devices, he will be selected, not elected in just like he was selected by Mahmoud in 2020. He will be selected again. And I can tell you, based on experience and intelligence, that Tinubu had already even populated INEC fully with his own people before the last INEC chairman was appointed. Most of the national leaders of the political of INEC, national commissioners, were card-carrying members of APC. Because when he came, he has appointed a lot of national commissioners and electoral commissioners at the state level. They are mostly his people already. The last jigsaw that came into the puzzle was this professor from Kogi State at Mopiton, who was appointed, and everything is ready as far as INEC is concerned for Tinubu's inauguration. But the good news is that, and you've seen that everybody is also being forced to decamp to their party. But the good news is that the Nigerian people are not decamping to APC. And that's where we could tell you that we can make it happen. We can make Tinubu become history. And nobody else can do it better than I can, because I'm a veteran in this battle of fighting against these characters and defeating them.
You have been hounded, arrested multiple times for activism. How do you balance your personal safety with a commitment to exposing corruption?
Well, I think what I have done over time, over these years, is to diversify. If I was Nigeria, the Nigeria economy will be booming, because when I notice that one stage needs to be elevated, I move from that stage, keep the other stage working, and I move to another sector. economically speaking, or as the Christians like to say, you set up another ministry. So the ministry of driving out military rulers, I was part of it, and we succeeded. The ministry of fighting against corruption, I did from abroad through the establishment of Sahara Reporters as a weapon fashioned against corruption. But I haven't lived in America myself and worked as a Sahara reporter. I knew that newspapers by themselves cannot change society. You can write everything you want. In fact, the more you write these scathing reports, the more the society is desensitized to corruption. I've realized one thing now. If somebody is arrested for stealing 10 million naira, Nigerians are the ones who say, how can you arrest somebody for stealing 10 million naira? They are desensitized to small corruption. But all of these corruptions aggregates to big corruption. They want to hear that billions are no longer even strange anymore. The next person that will be arrested for stealing trillion is the person the Nigerians are looking forward to and say, Kai, this guy tried. It's called desensitization. And that's what media, or constant media barrage, telling you this is a thief, this is a thief. People get to the point, they start having their favorite thief. Yes. And that's why I left media to go and focus on capturing power. Because without good people running this country, even if you have the best judges, you can't stop corruption. America realized that a long time ago. They don't let you steal their money. They act proactively. America can elect a thief to be president of the country, knowing that he can't steal their money. But if the people want to vote for a thief, no problem. But the institutions will not allow the thief to. You saw what he did to Donald Trump. He submitted a list of people he wanted to punish, took them to court. The judges just threw out the case after 3 weeks. There's no judge in Nigeria that can throw out such a case. Otherwise, my case would have been thrown out over calling Tinubu a criminal. Any serious judge would have looked at it and said, look, what kind of rubbish is this? Even find the prosecutors. How dare you bring this kind of case before me? So he called the president a criminal. So what? And the judge will look at you and say, what if he proves it? What are you going to do? And I can prove that Tinubu is a criminal. You heard it from me. That is why, of all the people that are complaining that I call Tinubu a criminal, Tinubu is the only one who didn't complain. He didn't say what. He didn't even allow Aso Rock to issue a statement to say, I'm not a criminal. He didn't explain himself. Tinubu is a newspaper owner. He owns several TV stations. He owns several radio stations. Not once did he say by himself that Sowore lied. And don't tell me that Tinubu doesn't know Sowore. Of course he does. But he knows me enough to know that I'm not flippant to have said what is not correct about him.
All right, let's begin to wrap up this way. If you have the privilege, let me say the opportunity. Let me not say privilege because to you it might not be considered a privilege. If you have the opportunity of sitting down with President Tinubu privately, what would you say to him?
I first will not sit down with him privately.
Why?
Waste of time. It is not one of the privileges I want to exercise. If I want to sit down with him privately, I would have done that a long time ago. Right? In any capacity. If I wanted it in private or in public, I would have done it. And I'm sure he will be happy to sit down with me. Because he knows that I'm one of the citizens of this country who, according to even their own internal records, has clean records and has contributed immensely to the democratic development of this country. And that I mean well. They say it amongst themselves that there's a person that they know means well for Nigeria, is Sowore. But we hate him because he talks too much. And he's not afraid of anybody. He doesn't have a godfather. They used to say something to me in Yoruba that Sowore is the only Yoruba god that doesn't have a place where you can worship him.
Mm.
And what they mean is you can't be bribed or bought. So there's no shrine where I can be worshipped. But the
Have
reason,
there been attempts to
oh, several, but I don't want to be worshipped either. So I closed the shrine.
I said let's wrap up this way. The political parties,
Yes.
especially the opposition political parties, is it a surprise that virtually all of them are in crisis, except probably for AAC?
It's not a surprise. And I'll explain in two ways. You see, technically, there are no political parties in Nigeria. You know, that is even an indictment on AAC itself. You understand? Because almost all the political parties are controlled by INEC. Are you getting me? And political parties are supposed to be completely independent of any kind of control. But political parties, as defined by the people who invented it, did not think about Nigeria when they were inventing political parties. They didn't know that someday a country called Nigeria, people called Nigerians, will have to be using that vehicle. Anything that got here, including the Bible, had to be manipulated to suit the agenda of the people who live in this country, or the Quran. You know, whatever they lay their hands upon, they go and look for the part that suits crime, you know, and sin. That's what they look for, and how they can justify it. Is that the political parties here are set up, and that's my second position, as special purpose vehicles for negotiation for personal interest. So if you ask, for instance, the APC to produce a membership register, do you know they don't have?
Sure.
They don't care. They don't. Because they don't have to. When we were asked to produce membership register in 2022, we were probably the only party that had a digital membership because we had people registering online. They confessed to us at INEC that APC could not provide membership because they don't have. So what they then did, they got INEC to use INEC voters register to help them create an APC register within INEC. So they took the INEC voter, what you and I register as voters. You can, if you come across an APC register, you might find my name there. I'm telling you, because it was not done by consent. It was just a transfer of existing data to a rogue party.
So, guys, I'm quickly going to take you through some of the reactions from Nigerians after the Tinubu's government came out to announce that General Musa has been appointed as the new CDS. Let me take you through these headlines. Bayo Ononuga tweeted this tweet and said, State House press release. President Tinubu nominates General Christopher Musa as the new Minister of Defense. President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has nominated General Christopher Wambi Musa as the new Minister of Defense. And it went ahead to say, in a letter to Senate President Godswill Akpabio, President Tinubu conveyed General Musa's nomination as a successor to Alhaji Mohammed Badaru Abubakar, who resigned on Monday. General Musa, 58. On December 25th, okay, he's going to be 58. Wow. On December 25th, he's a distinguished soldier who served as Chief of Defense Staff from 2023 until October 2025. He won the Colin Powell Award for soldiering in 2012. Born in Sokoto in 1967, General Musa received his primary and secondary education there before attending College of Advanced Studies in Zaria. He graduated in 1986 and enrolled at the Nigerian Defense Academy the same year, earning a Bachelor of Science degree upon graduation in 1991. General Musa was commissioned into the Nigerian Army as a second lieutenant in 1991 and since then and has since had a distinguished career. His appointment include General Staff Officer 1, Training Operation at headquarter 81 Division, commanding officer 73 Battalion, assistant director, operational requirement, Department of Army Policy and Plan, and infantry representative, member, training team, headquarters, Nigerian Army Armored Corps. In 2019, he serves as Deputy Chief of Staff, Training Operation, Headquarter Infantry Center and Corps, Commander Sector 3, Operation Lafia Dole, and Commander Sector 3, Multinational Joint Task Force in the Lake Chad region. In 2021, General Musa was appointed Theater Commander, Operation Hakeem Kai. He later became commander of the Nigerian Army Infantry Corps before being appointed as Chief of Defense Staff by President Tinubu in 2023. In the letter to the Senate, the President Tinubu expressed confidence in General Musa's ability to lead the Ministry of Defense and further strengthened security architecture. Bayo Nonuga was the one that posted this post, and let's see how Nigerians have been reacting. Some people have been saying, oh, that's a welcome development, while some are saying, since he was CDS, what changed in the military? So like this person say, a round peg in a round hole, I commend Tinubu for this. It's now time for President Tinubu to tell Metawale to write his own resignation. He can copy the sickness reason, all right, that he needs to take care of his very large family. As for Metawale replacement, we can get more politically inclined persons from South so as to help General Musa navigate the political angle of the works of the ministry. May General C. Musa, the defense minister he leads in Nigeria, may General C. Musa, the defense minister he leads, and Nigeria in general be victorious over this beast in human form. Amen. Another person here say, it's funny how someone that was CDS and nothing changed on security. Then you now nominated the same person for Minister for Defense. Is Nigeria not a funny country using same people and expecting different results? He listened, he acted. This was General Christopher Musa was sacked as the Chief of Defense Staff in October 2025 by Tinubu government for reasons. What changed? Was his sack a mistake? What did he do better as CDS that earned him a recall? What did he do that earned him sacking? This inconsistency is sickening. Another person here said, this appointment shows the caliber of people around Tinubu. When it matters most, after so much pressure, especially from the US, he have to cut short the career of a CDS just to appoint him a minister. APC members should hide their heads in shame. And this other person here says, a chief of defense staff, this man spent more time on TV than in the real field, defending the army inaction and covering up government incompetence. Plenty talk, zero performance. Hopefully he chooses action over interview now. Yelewata happened under his watch. Hey, Yelewata happened under his watch. CDS. Okay, what happened on that? This person here said, Renu and other APC terrorist bastards should go through the comment section to observe how people react when a good decision is made by a government. If Tinubu and Shetima resign today, drum and sounds will fill streets of Nigeria. It will be better, a deaf and a dumb side there. This person here said, this is the best nomination in Nigeria since the civilian era. Having said that, the following ambassadorial nomination must be withdrawn. Reno Mokre, Femi Fani-Kayode, and Mahmoud Yakubu immediately. They should be withdrawn. And this other person here said, it is only Islamic people that are military. Is it only Islamic people that are military? From Muhammad to Musa. Interesting nomination. Okay, I think Musa is a Christian. This other person here said, This is the first right thing Tinubu has ever done since he became president of Nigeria. What could have opened his understanding? Trump, you do this one. Another person here, Tinubu did well on this. Okay. Now he remained to sack Ribadu and Metawale and replace them with genuine ex-military officers from the south and watch Nigeria grow from there. If this is the only thing Tinubu can do for the remainder of his tenure, he will never be forgotten. Be bold, Tinubu. Okay, this person here says he's a native of southern Kaduna, which has been greatly affected by terrorism. Hence, it is expected of him to go hard on terrorists and crush them. Honestly. I said it. Nigeria love this man. I swear. Metawale should go. We are at a crucial moment. We need people who can actually contribute to the security architecture. We need an all-out offensive on the bastards in the bushes. Interesting days ahead. Metawale has to also go, and an ex-serviceman appointed from the Air Force, a neutral that is not subject to caliphate. The NSA should give way to a well-experienced and proven ex-security operative who is untainted by scandal and primordial sentiments. And this person say, not Tinubu's fan, but I must commend him on this. Security shouldn't be left in the hands of politicians like Badaru and Metawale as head of defense. Congratulations to Christopher Musa. Please make Nigeria proud. And this other person here, probe communication editorial. Appointing ministers is not enough. Security needs political will. I think this person's statement, we need political will from Tinubu. The appointment of General Christopher Musa as Nigeria's new Minister of Defense is welcome development in terms of experience and military competence. Yet, Nigeria must confront a simple reality. No minister, however is capable can end insurgency without political will from the highest level. That this person is just directly talking to Tinubu. That even if you appoint the Christopher Musa with his experience, he cannot act if there is no political will being shown by the president. Everything boils down from the president. Tinubu doesn't know how to show political will. They used to say he's the master strategist. Nigerians are yet to see it. And this person say, I noticed how high majority of Nigerians were advocating for General Musa as a defense minister. That's what competence gets you. I pray God's grace, strength, and protection for him and wish him all the best. And this person said Christopher Musa was the chief of defense staff and was relieved of his duty just recently by Tinubu and now reappointed by the same Tinubu as the defense minister. What did he do when he's chief of defense staff? Okay, what did he do when he's the chief of defense staff? He did absolutely nothing to improve security in Nigeria. By the way, compare his CV and experience with that of Badaru and ask yourself, why would you sacrifice experience just for political reasons? So guys, these are Nigerians reacting. Let me know your own thoughts in the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and turn on the bell notification. Thank you.